is going on, folks? Evil Tactics here. We're going to be going over the 4.6 patch report. This will be my second time watching it. The last recording of this, the audio was all jacked up, so we're going to try again. So let's see what we got. Hopefully it's a good one, and I'm going to be excited for this next patch. Let's go see what we got.
Each year of Star Citizen brings with it a new beginning, including new content, new opportunities, and oftentimes a few new ways of doing things. It's an essential element of Star Citizen's DNA, where we don't just build the game out in front of everyone, we continue to review, refine, and redirect our efforts, as well as the very manner in which we make our games along the way. In 2025, this saw the biggest change to our development strategy yet, where new content rose to the forefront while feature work was allowed the time necessary to cook behind the scenes, where dedicated strike teams were formed to deal with the biggest issues at hand, and the patch cadence changed from once every quarter to once every month. It was an exciting year, and now into 2026, we continue.
I will say this, I did enjoy the monthly patch cadence. One caveat though was it did seem like we just did not get a lot of time to play these patches, you know, because 2 to 4 weeks in between patches. I mean, realistically, we saw them every 3 weeks. So we realistically only had 3 weeks to play the content that was coming out over 2025. I was really enjoying the constant updates, the constant upgrades, the optimizations that we were seeing. I mean, we saw in real time the elevators being fixed and all that, so that was good.
Continue our yearly evolution as we head into the upcoming Alpha 4.6. Now, instead of a patch every month or every quarter, this year we'll introduce a new bi-monthly patch cadence, which is 1 every 2 months for those of you who appreciate homonyms. No. That means that you're going to see big releases like 4.6, 4.7, 4.8 and the like in January, March, and May, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth. And between those patches, we're going to try a new initiative that'll still deliver smaller chunks of in-game content to keep things interesting, like the recent pricing surge on commodities from last week. And in the future, new mission contracts, new loot, and even new spaceships, and all without the need for a big, mega, full patch release. It's an exciting experiment, and one that we're...
Okay, so on top of their bi-monthly patch cadence that they're going to do this year, we'll still be seeing updates in between. Okay, so that must be like the 4.1, or sorry, 4.6.1, 0.6.2, and so on and so forth that they're talking about. I can get behind that.
Eager to undertake as we continue our journey to 1.0 with a year of patches aiming to deliver more feature improvements like inventory rework, crafting, which, if everything works out, should be in tech preview soon or by the time this airs. Instancing, Genesis planets, and more, alongside the content that we showed at CitizenCon Direct, like Rock Cracker, Tactical Strike Groups, and Municipal Works.
Ooh, those are 2 things I'm excited for. The Rock Cracker sandbox activity and the strike groups. That's gonna be epic.
So, with all that said, let's go ahead now and take a look at some of what Alpha 4.6 has in store for us. And not just with its intended release next week, but throughout this February and into March.
All right, let's take a look.
Up first, the local inhabitants of Levski are falling sick with a mysterious ailment called the People's Ailment, seemingly caused by the new strain of mold growing in the faulty air filters of Geisen Incorporated. Symptoms include
I'm sorry, the
coughing,
name.
chest pain, and fatigue. This mold is super resistant and forcing the free and independent people of Levski to reach out to the UEE for help. Now, it's up to contractors like you to race against the clock and save as many folks from fungal fatalities as possible. And, of course, pick up some rewards along the way, like this cool new medical-themed armor set, med gun, ship paints, and more. And in feature work, the first iterations of cockpit light amplification are also rolling out for select spacecraft. It's an exciting step forward in addressing one of the oldest struggles pilots have when flying or driving around the dark side of our planets and moons. And like most new features in Star Citizen, this will continue to evolve, improve, and expand to additional vehicles in subsequent patches. And look at all the different colors. And speaking of the oldest struggles, the Aurora, classic ship from RSI, heart of our original crowdfunding campaign and most owned vehicle in the verse, is finally getting its gold standard pass in Alpha 4.6, bringing it to feature and function parity with today's latest and greatest for those pilots who enjoy.
It really does amaze me that some of the older ships are just now getting into gold standard. Like, damn.
Flying a true Star Citizen classic. And alongside this, we're finally delivering many of those outstanding campaign paints to go with it, like the Pirate paint, the Operation Pitchfork paint, the South by Southwest 2015 paint, the Electro Hull paints, and more. For 4.6, these will be delivered exclusively to those OG backers who earned them by supporting the original campaign, but may become available in limited supply later this year if there's enough interest. I suspect you can let us know on Spectrum, Reddit, and social. And in additional content stuffs, those cool holographic skull helmets we came up with so long ago are finally being delivered to our development subscribers. I'm excited because I've been wanting to recreate that Skeletor meme on social with it since we first unveiled it. There should be memes here, unless we couldn't think of any. There's also offerings from everyone's favorite band who, look. It's the only Banu you know, technically, who has these nifty new armor and weapon variants available as well.
It's a cool looking armor.
And the debut of the upcoming RSI Hermes, which you'll see fully and learn more about next week.
Okay. Next week. Sweet.
But as we said at the top of the show, 4.6 doesn't stop when it releases next week. That's because about 2 weeks after that, we'll see the unlocking of new faction-based introductory and advanced mining and salvage missions to better guide new players through the two popular professions, as well as provide additional opportunities to existing players. There's our annual Coremore event that encourages folks to spend their lives in the verse with someone special, and it arrives with a host of goodies to acquire. Red Festival returns with its super cool red and gold paints, as well as new decal or not variants for those who prefer a cleaner look to your spacecraft paints. Another limited time change to vendors like the recent pricing surge, but this time discounting vehicles sold.
Sorry about that. Ended up getting a phone call in the middle of recording.
Vehicles sold through in-game shops.
Who's that spaceship mine?
And finally, another new
Okay, I don't know how they're gonna get away with this. That might come back to bite them in the rear. That's an Argo ship. Why would you be showing off a mole? Oh shit, we might be getting the variant. The salvage variant of the mole. Okay. If that's the case, outstanding. All right, let's keep this going.
Ship with a familiar silhouette makes its debut weeks later in the 4.6 era. So what's it called and what's it do?
Oh yeah, that's the salvage. I just
I'm
saw the
not gonna
arm
tell
opening
you.
and closing.
Because I'm not sure we're getting away with that whole, what's that spaceship month thing.
Probably not, Jared.
So come back in a few weeks to find out. Ultimately, 4.6 is the start of a new season of Star Citizen content that will continue to expand the story and gameplay of Nyx, the features and capabilities of the universe itself, and the continuing development of the project as a whole. And as far as shows like this are concerned, well, I'm happy to report that we're going back to weekly from now on. So whether that's ISC, SEL, BTS, or whatever a particular episode is called, we'll be back with something to share each and every week that we can.
Okay.
I've missed you. And one of you sent me a giant wooden hammer, which kind of feels like a threat. But I'm gonna try my best. See you next week.
All right. Well, that's some good information on it. We are studying the Hermes. Well, can't wait to take a look at that ship. Looks like we're going to be taking a look at a Argo variant of the Mole. It looks like salvage. That's going to be fun. And then, yeah, a bunch of different game stuff. I'm excited for 4.6 and now the bi-monthly patch cadence and seeing what 2026 has out in store. So if you guys enjoyed that quick little video, didn't really go over much. I'm excited for the helmets and armors and whatnot, but good to know. Finally have an answer on what kind of patch cadence we're going to be looking at, and minor patches in between the major ones. So that's really cool. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, throw us a like, and I'll see you out in the verse. And as always, my friends, stay tactical.